ColdFusion Simple Blog, Episode 8. Here we are back at the CF Simple Blog. Remember, this is just a simple blog. This has taken more episodes than I expected, but then again, I did make a plan of just building it and letting you see mistakes, problems, issues, and ways to solve them. So we already got users working, so let's work on getting posts so that we can add, edit, and delete them here, and then we'll worry about displaying them on the home page. So I'm going to go back here. We're going to make some changes in how we build this one. So in reality, if we look, we know when we look at the SQL what the table looks like. It's got a user ID, category ID, which we're not really using right now. We can work on that down the road maybe. But first, if we don't use it, you don't even have to have this column. So what we're going to do now is we're going to build our queries to get all of the information that we need to get. So we come back here and we say, okay, we want something like this, but we want it to be query posts. And then we also want one called query post by ID. Now, whenever you're writing code, you want to try to get a standard, or if you're going to a new company, find out what their standard of how they code is and try to fit in so that it makes it better for everybody in the long run, and also that will help you when you go back to go back to your own code. You'll see. So let's go here to users. We're going to select all. We're going to copy. I don't want to delete. I just want to copy. Paste. I know that's not the one we want, but that's fine. Select all. Copy. And I didn't want to do that neither. Okay. So we'll go here to post by ID. We'll paste. So what we want to do to get all the posts, obviously, simply say posts. We're not going to order by that, so let's get rid of that for now. Left join users. Now what I'm going to do is add a letter here so that we can say I want the post information, and then on users we're going to add a letter U so that we're labeling what we're doing. On user underscore ID equals user ID. So if we go here and look in posts, it is users ID, and it's going to connect back to ID. So if we go back to the posts, user, the post is going to be users, users ID. So now when we run this, we will have the user information if we add user. Now, what you want to do is look and see, well, what actually information do we need from user to go along with this post? Probably the first name, the email, the last name, and the email. So let's do that. So we go back to post and we say, okay, all we really want, I'm going to do this way, all we really want is first name, last name, email. So now we have all the post information and only the stuff we need added where this user is the one that did the post. So we'll get the list and we'll see all the posts that are there. So we kind of want to do the exact same thing here, except we want this ID. So let's just start by posting this. And we didn't change something I just saw when I did that. We've got to change this to posts by, well, hold on, post by ID. Then we can come down here and we will be passing in the ID of the post. So that is just fine, what's there. And I don't know if the prettier will, okay, good. I like to have it 2 spaces over. So let's go here to post, and we're going to change this now to to posts with an S. Now, once again, everybody does it differently, so it's okay. And this is how I'm doing it for the beginner way of filling something out to make it easy to read. So here we have our two queries for posts. So now if we go back here, we see we've got that. When we go to admin, we have posts index. And so what we want to do is kind of like with users index. If we go look here, you want at the very top, or at least I like to put it at the very top, the query that's going to get the information. So if we go there and we say, okay, we want it at the top, let's put it above the header. Sometimes there's a reason for that. The reason might be you want something in the header to display related to the post that you are going to, the list of posts that you're going to. So we're querying and getting the posts. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead, you know, this output's bugging me, even though I know it's not doing anything. So what I want to do is simply say cf dump posts, but it's a query, so it's query underscore. So we'll have the posts come through, and we'll see there is none, but it's okay. It's part of what we're trying to do. So here, there is none, but you can see it worked. It hit the database and pulled back the information. So what we want to do now is we want to build a table. And to my luck, it decides to give me the table I like with the Bootstrap 4 or Bootstrap 5, either one, because I think I'm using Bootstrap 5 on this one. It's in dark mode, and that's how I did that. So now we have the edit. We have all of this information, except a lot of this information. We need to look and see, is this what we have? We have, ooh, there's a problem. I hope I didn't actually run that. Amount. Well, let's go back and look and see if I did. Because if I did, we need to get rid of it and put it back. Oh, wait, you know what? I don't think we have any reason to have amount for a post. So I'm not sure why I had that in there. Let's see here. This is expenses down here. That's going away. We only have two tables. It must have popped up like it did just then. So we do have categories. Where's my posts? I guess the posts got deleted at some point. I'll not worry about it. We might use the categories later. Let's just regenerate one, see if we can. This is nice that it can sometimes do this. If I give it some help as to what I'm trying to do. And then I get rid of that, and then I just simply hit enter. Then it will do that, which would connect it to the category, which we don't need. We connect to the user ID, which we do need. I don't remember. Did we? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. Okay, good. I was wondering. I was like, what in the world happened? Okay, so we've got the title and we got the content. And the user ID created at is going to automatically be generated. So let's go back to post index and look at this. We have some of this right. So let's go like this and move this over here. And let's close that. So now we have these two things to look at. So we have the columns that we're needing. So what we want is the title. We're not going to display the body. Not here anyway. Well, let me leave the body and I'll kind of explain and show you what I mean. But body is here. We've got the user ID connected to first name and last name. And all of these, the delete should have the ID. Yep. And edit has an ID. And then we will need to add an add up here. I like to have it on the right hand side. Oh, cool. It must have figured me out a little bit, because I even like the font size to be 3. So let's highlight all these, and I'm going to tab it over. Let's scroll up a little, tab it, nope, not that far, tab it to there. You know, let's tab it over one more. And it looks like I messed up and deleted the table when I was tabbing it over. Okay, the reason why I'm doing an extra one, and it looks like it still put it as only 1, what I want to do, oh, okay, yeah, exactly. What I want to do is copy this row, because I want it to start a new row after the add. So if I do this, then now I have a brand new container. I actually want it to be a row, but for now, let's see here. Yeah, that'll still work, I think. But I need an extra div down here, I think. We have one. These all line up. These go to here. So then when I go here, yeah, that's kind of what I thought. So I need copy that, paste that, tab it over. I don't know that we need another one. I think that might be all. If you come up here and look, we can look at the row. Comes down there. It covers the whole table. But we have an extra one after the row. Yes, okay. This is the correct number of divs. So we should have a display. Now, what you can do, you don't have to do this, because obviously once you've got your first blog, you would never need it again. You could do a CF if and say if there is no post, do a table with a column row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then column span of 5, and then you could put in no post found. I don't do that very often, because if it's a site that's never going to have an empty site except right at the very beginning, it's kind of, in my opinion, almost a waste of time. But there are times I do it because it might be something that's tasks that are going to sometimes get deleted, and I'm tabbing that over because I like to have everything 2 spaces. Okay, so I've got this. Now let's go see how it looks. Hard to tell without any post here, but kind of looks good. We have the add button up here. We're ready to go to be able to add. So what you do is, as you're building, since you're trying to duplicate the same concepts all the time, you want to kind of pay attention to what you've done before and maybe move it to here to do the next thing. So let's see here. We kind of we do need to know which user it is. So when we go to add, one of the things we do need is we do need a query to get the user by ID. So when we go to edit, if we look up here, user by ID. Now we may have to make sure we're passing in it through from a URL. So we may have to make a change to how we use our user by ID. Let's go up here to user by user ID. See, right now it's just using URL ID. Well, what if I'm clicking the add button? Let's see here. If I'm clicking on the add button here, it's not going to give me which user, but when I get a login system, it's going to give me which user, and I could actually put in the ID equals. So let's go back and look at the list of users, because I'm going to see what user I'm going to pick. Probably myself, because I added myself earlier. And if you look here, you can't, if you look down here, it's kind of small. It's saying my ID is number 9. Now I could click on it, click edit, and come up here and see it's 9, and that would work as well. So let's go back to post. Well, right before we go to post, let's come here and let's say we want okay, so we're going to have to get which user it is. So for now, I'm going to hard code it. It was number 9. Later, when we have login, maybe we'll change it so that whoever's logged in, it will automatically fill that out. So let's see. If you have 9 here, what's one of the problems with that? It's kind of called a magic number, because it's like, what's this 9 and who is this ID of 9? So there's multiple ways you can take care of this. Since we're doing a simple blog and I'm just trying to give you examples, I would say current user equals 9. And then you would take this copy of this current user and you would delete the 9 and you would put it in 2 hashes. Now, it's not inside a CF output, so it won't work. So we need to put it inside a CF output one way or another. So I will go ahead and do CF output, and then I will copy that and paste it here, and I will tab it over, and then I will make the second output be an ending CF output. Now we should have that ad working. So if we go to posts, we point at it, you look down there, it says 9. So we click, it brings us to the ad with 9. So now that we're doing that, we can simply take the edit from here and grab a copy again. I got it earlier and then didn't paste it. So if we're going to the ad, we need to go to the top and say, we're going to query that user and get that user. We want to be able to create some posts. So we want a form. We're inside of a container. I'll just go with it for now. Edit user. In case you change your mind about editing the user. So here we are. And whoops. We go ahead, we put in this form, and then we have to look here. We have edit user, we have back, we have the form, first name, last name, email. That's not the one we want, because what we do want to do is we do want to show the user, but we're getting ready to add. We're getting ready to add. We're not getting ready to edit. So let me do a ending div. Okay, so what I want to do is look here. I am passing in which user it is, so it can be hidden, and it will be not from the query. It'll be user. It'll be the URL.id. If we want to display the user's name, we have that up here where we could be getting it, and we do not need a value, but we also don't need it to be first name. What do we need it to be? Let's go look at the correct table. Title, content, and the user's ID. That's the only 3 things, title, content. So let's start with title and content. We'll come back up here to the ad, which is there. So we want the title. So what you want to do is here where it says first name, we'll, using VS Code, hold down Control and hit D, and it will highlight the next one and the next one. And I believe there's one more, but that one is not really needed because we will end up changing it. So let's actually delete this one. Let's delete it here like this, and I'm leaving the word value in because I'm going to be using it when we decide to go to edit. It'll already have that in there. And then this label here should, this text for this one should say title. And then if we look back again, it's content. So we go content. So you simply say this one's going to be content. Content. Oops. And then we want to highlight last name, hit Control D, Control D. And I won't worry about the other one since we're going to delete it anyway. Content. And we'll come over here and we will simply delete that. So now we've got everything we really need. So that means we can delete all of these. And I guess I'll leave that for now. So we have a submit button, which would be post, and it's not going to go to act edit. It's going to go to act insert. So now if we go back here, we hit refresh, we have title, content. Now, obviously, depending on your situation, you may want to have it smaller. This is a back button that can bring you back to the list of posts. I don't think we need one because we could, well, I'll leave it. I actually will leave it this time. But since it's a back button, we probably need to take this margin top 3 and put right here. I'm not sure we need the margin bottom. I'll take it away, hit refresh, and now the back is right across from the edit. Click back. Now it's right back to where you're adding a post. You go here, you're getting ready to add a post. You could put the user's name here so that they know that we know who they are. And so they're going to type in my first post and blah, 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 blah. And you can go get some Laura Ipsum or whatever, or you can just throw that together for testing. So what I want to do now is say, okay, when they hit add, and up here I didn't change this, which we need to fix this. It's not going to be edit user. This is where you're add post. You're adding a post, a blog post. If you need to, you could add the word blog, but I'm just going to add post. So then we're going to go to the insert. So let's just look at this one so we can kind of guide ourselves as a beginner on something that's been there, that we've used and got working. So we paste it here. We want to insert into posts. Oh, wait, there is one more thing I like to do. Let's just get rid of this. What I like to do when I'm a beginner, I would do CF dump, and I would just say form so that I can see what was posted and make sure what I think was posted worked. Because if you copy something, from a good example, you copy from Bootstrap site, they tend to put the ID of the fields, but not the name. And you need the name because that's the where the values are going to be in, that's going to go into the database. So there's been a lot of times I forget about that, a copy. And now here's a great example. We forgot that we talked about doing the output around it, and then we never did it, I guess, or at least not in the edit. Ah, that's why, not in the edit. I remember we did it before the edit. So let's go back here to the, not before the edit, before the add. And usually I don't have to do that. So let's see here. We're in post, add. The hidden field is right here. So what I'm going to do, that's the only one that's needing this. So I'm going to do output. And we are going to go over here and do, whoops, CF output. So now when we go back or hit refresh, and I'll copy this so I don't have to type that again, refreshed. My first post, paste, add. So now it says the ID of 9, which is me, the title, and the content. So what we want to do is here in the insert, we want to actually insert. So what we can do is see, you can go copy, or you can do CF query name equals. Now you can do it without putting a name. Add a habit. I don't know that it's important or not. Nobody's ever told me. I just do it. Well, this stupid keyboard's going to drive me nuts. I'm going to have to get a different one. CF query. So we want to insert into posts. And we want to do all of that. Title, not body, but content. I probably should have named it body, but oh well. Values. And see here. And then we want that. We want CF query param. That's helping for SQL injection again. So it knows that the user ID is an integer. It knows that the content could be bigger than a normal varchar, so it's got it as text, and this one is the varchar for the title. So this is correct. This is what we want, and we don't need the dump anymore. We'll get rid of that. But one thing we do want to do is after we add CF location, and we want to go back to index.cfm. Why? Because that's the way we can see the list and see the new one we just added. Add token equals no. One of these days I'm going to look up where to turn the security profile on and turn it on, then you won't need it. But it's probably a good thing for you to know to use it, and because you don't know where you're going to work. You don't know if they will have it on or off. You can test it and find out. So here, once it inserts, it should automatically go to the list. We haven't displayed the list, but that's okay. So if I hit refresh and say, yes, please resubmit that list, that ad that we've done. And now we're on act insert, so we didn't get the location. So something happened. I see it right now. I was in such a hurry and it gave me that, and I just accepted it, and it was wrong. So let's go back and click add again. And now it's still on act insert. Let me see if I can figure out what I've done. I've got commas there, I've got commas there. I believe in post it is title, content, and users with an SID. I bet that's what's wrong. Users ID, content, title, form, content. I'm not really sure what it is. I'm overlooking it. It's something simple, I'm sure. But let's just do this, okay? So we did the form dump before, but let's just do CF output. And then come down here and do CF output. Whoops. And we will put this here. I should have put hashtags around it. And then let's copy this. Copy that. Whoops. I wanted to copy it. I didn't want to write the letter C. Copy. Whoops. I'm getting good at cutting. Paste, and then let's get the ID, which should be 9, which we already know is, but let's go ahead and see it. And then put a line break, and I'll put a dash, so we can see all of them. So let's go back, hit refresh, reload, and resubmit. So we can see my first post, the text, and 9. So all the data is coming in. What am I overlooking? Title, content. And I'm not getting an error. So let's try. I'll do old-fashioned debugging. Old-fashioned. There's better ways. And then I will come down here. B. Let's see if we see test A and the letter B. We shouldn't. Or if this is working. And so we got A, but we didn't get to B. So it is something in here. So insert. Let me see here. Insert into post. What am I doing wrong? Insert into posts. Okay, let's get the insert into users, and then let's move this over here. Close the bar over there. So insert into is correct. Posts. Pretty sure it's post with an S, because we're getting post from here with the S. Yep. And you can always go look at the table you built, posts, 255 text. We got plenty of room for everything. So insert title. Okay, well, I'm going to call it quits and come back later. I'll show you what I did to figure out what I'm doing wrong, but I hate to spend too much time videoing while I'm trying to solve this problem. I don't mind you seeing me solve problems, but I don't want you to get bored. Insert into posts. That's odd. Integer, text, and varchar. It looks right. Okay, well, give me a second. I figure I would at least go back and show you what I've done to try to figure this out. It's probably something real simple, like, for example, I think even though this is timestamp, I forgot to add to force it to put the date and time in here. So I may end up dropping that table and rebuilding it, and then that way it would work, and we will find that out. But I wanted to show you what I did so that you can do it. Number one of the things you do want to do is put a try catch. So I started a try, ended a try down here, and then put the query in here. If it worked, it would say insert successful and would skip the rest. But if it was a database error, it would tell me what the database error was. Any other kind of error would throw that and show that to me. However, it did not. It did not show me any errors, even though I know it should have. And so I said, okay, well, let's go find out. Let's go find out what's going on by going to the home page. And I went to here, and let me hit refresh. And it didn't have the author. It had the first, but didn't have the body. Which, by the way, I didn't go look, but maybe. Oh, this is body. There's one problem. That's still not the answer to the other problem, but let's hit reload. So it shows that I inserted it 3 times, and it didn't work. So what I need to do, let's just add another one. Hello, thank you. I'll fill out with some junk information, click add post, and it works. So that fixed that. So that wasn't the problem I thought it was. Now, it's not inserting the date, so I'm probably going to delete all those so that when the next lesson, the next video will have that fixed. But I want you to see what I'm going to fix beforehand. So what I was saying, once again, is I'm going to change this, and I think you simply say default timestamp. And this is for a MySQL. I believe that's correct. So if I copy this and I go, oops, I need to drop this table. So let's say, let me say drop table. And what we want to do is drop the table post. So let's just copy this. In fact, I want that to be uppercase. And then we will rebuild it, drop, and then we will rebuild it right after. So we want to run these 2 commands. I can go in here where I'm using, let's see here. Give me just a second to grab that. I'm using the MySQL in here. So I can say, give me the database. And then when that opens, I can say I want to go in here to PHP data, because that's where I put the database. And I'm going to grab that over here. So what I want to do now is, if you look under, I can't remember which one I put it under. Maybe it's, oh, it's right here, testing. So if we look right here, and then we go to table users, you can see it should be default to current timestamp. For whatever reason, it's not doing it. That's odd. Maybe somebody else will know, but that means I need to change our insert to automatically put the timestamp in. So I'm not going to do that right now. I'm not even going to delete these. I'm going to leave them where they're at. And I'm going to stop right here so you'll be in the same spot as I am for the next video. Thank you, and please subscribe if you like what I'm trying to do, helping other people.